King Biz.
Mike King Biz here, host of On the Mic with Mike, Richmond's premier business radio program. We're heard as part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network, which is ESPN Richmond 106.1, daily from 5 to 7 a.m. The Choice 105.3, every day from 2 to 3 p.m., as well as International Business Growth Radio. That is Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern. That's where you find us. That's where the game changers come to talk. On the Mic with Mike, Mike King Biz Radio is the premier business radio program in Central Virginia.
Hi, I'm Reba Hollingsworth with CBS 6, and I was on the mic with Mike and had a fabulous time. Make sure you tune in every week.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike, the premier business radio program. I'm your host, Mike King. I appreciate you being here with me. We're coming to you from the Mike King Biz Studio, which is the global epicenter of social enterprise business. You can follow me on all social platforms, On the Mic with Mike, RVA, as well as Mike King Biz. What we do is we showcase RVA in a different way. We bring to you the game changers. Now, we'd had another interview, but it wasn't right. And so when our friends from Sadona Tap House are here, NAPA Kitchen and Wine, I got it this time. I've been schooled. Yes, because I was just leaving off that last part.
Yes, sir.
And so Tyler's here with us. He is the executive chef.
Culinary director.
Like I said, he's exactly that, the culinary director. All righty, really quickly. So let's tell folks who you are and what you do.
So I'm Tyler Barbero. I am the culinary director, so I kind of direct our culinary department. So coming up with new specials, working with our chefs, dealing with our vendors. That's just kind of what I do every day.
You are righty. And so when I sat down with you before, I learned some really cool things. So Sadona is a concept, and Napa, they're both concepts.
Yes.
Different, but the corporate feel is the same.
Yeah.
And we talked about that from your father setting the corporate culture, about how things. Now, I told you already, my grandson, Sadona and, Knuckles Road, that's my grandson's spot, both of them. And, so he kind of got mad when I get the linguine, and then he thought I was ripping them off with I did, with the shrimps and stuff out of that one. But that's because I was paying.
Yeah.
But
fair enough.
No, exactly. But the culture of it says it's the same everywhere you go. Talk about how you guys get the culture aspect the same.
Yeah, so, culture is one of the most important things for us because, anybody, when they walk into a restaurant, they can feel the culture, whether it's good, bad. So we want to make sure it's always a good culture. We, take a lot of pride in what we do. That's part of our culture is pride. We always want to give back. Charity is also part of our culture.
Yes, you guys do give back a lot.
Yes, sir. And as well as just having a great place to work. We want our employees to feel like they're part of a family and they're excited to come to work.
Okay, so let's run down a list of locations that you guys have.
Okay, so we are in 8 states. So we can start in Virginia. We are in Midlothian, Glen Allen, Fredericksburg, Charlottesville, Colonial Heights, and Chantilly.
Okay.
And we have a Sedona and a Napa in Midlothian. So I think it's 8 restaurants in Virginia. We have 2 in Pennsylvania, 1 in Phoenixville, 1 in Westchester.
I grew up not too far from Phoenixville.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I grew up in a town called Lansdale, right outside of Philly.
Oh, nice. We actually have 2 more locations opening in that area, a Sedona and our first Napa franchise. Then we are in New Jersey, Cliffside Park, Mamaroneck, New York, Norwalk, Connecticut, Novi, Michigan, and Troy, Michigan. Oh, and 2 Lexington locations in Kentucky and a Nashville, Tennessee.
The guys from NASCAR were just here earlier. They would have been super proud of you coming down with the rundown. I mean, because when the driver gets out of the car, hey, I'd like to thank the Shell Pennzoil, and they go right down. But congratulations for that.
Thank you.
When you guys go to a location, to an area, how do you determine which one it's going to be?
So, there's a lot that goes into it. Obviously, you look at the demographics, who's living around there. Is it somebody who would be interested in that type of concept, that type of restaurant? Obviously, foot traffic. Is it somewhere that people walk to accessibly? Is it somewhere you have to drive to? Do we need parking? One of our locations in Kentucky is in a hotel.
Okay.
So, there's kind of different variables. We have a location that's in a mall. So we kind of just look around, try to find the unique, cool locations. We always try to have a patio. Cause that's
you guys have a cool patio.
Yes, sir. We try to do that at every one of our locations.
So shout out to Westchester Commons is where we first met there. You have 2 locations there in Westchester.
Yes, sir.
You have Sedona and you have Napa.
Yes.
So when I was there before, the first times I saw the big wine, you know, hey, that's the name. And then you showed me the machine with the bourbon whiskey.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool concept. So explain to the listeners. Okay, hold on a sec, man. I got to give you the clap from that one.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Alrighty, so explain to the listeners what that is.
Yeah, so it's an enomatic machine. So basically, it has room for, I believe, 6 or 8 bottles, and it's made for wine. So you put the wine bottles in there, and it has like a little stopper, so it keeps it fresh. And it's a self-serve machine, essentially. So you stick your card in there, a prepaid amount on a card, stick it in there, and you can get samples, full glasses, whatever you like. So we think, wow, that's great with wine. Why not put high-quality bourbon in there? You know, hard to get stuff. So we go through, you know, different types of bottles. Weller, we have Pappy, all the Buffalo Trace family. We try to get some Elijah Craig. You know, all those big names we try to get in so people can come in and taste it, experience it for themselves.
Had you guys seen that somewhere? Or
No.
you just thought that one up?
Yeah.
Whose crazy idea was that?
So that was my dad's, of course.
Okay,
you know.
so when he said it, what were you guys saying?
Well, he loves bourbon. He has a huge bourbon collection
Okay.
himself, and we were actually renovating the bar at NAPA to make it more effective. So we actually took out a couple machines, and he was like, "Well, I'm going to take one to my house, and I'm going to put bourbon in there."
Okay.
And then he thought, "Well, why don't we do that in the restaurant?"
Okay, so when people walk in, the name, as you let me know, Napa Kitchen and Wine.
Yes.
Lauren, are we still good? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so Napa Kitchen and Wine, it has a kitchen and has wine. And then when people see the bourbon station, what's the look on people's faces?
Oh, they get excited.
Yeah, I bet they
get
do.
very excited.
And so do they ask, like, what's that?
Yeah, sometimes we definitely get questions about it. We get questions about both machines, the wine and the bourbon.
Yeah, because we're, you know, kind of people, you know, of my, like, I got a few miles on me. You may not be able to tell. But that's a new thing. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, you know, but all of a sudden, it's a new twist to a new thing because now you're able to go up and try. Maybe you don't buy that at the price point where they're like, well, maybe I would try it. And this is the opportunity to try it.
Exactly, and plus, you know, it's, you know, the way the ABC lottery works, it's hard to get some of these sought-after bottles, so it's great when we're able to get those and put them up there so people who have been looking for them can come in and try them.
So shout out to you guys for the community work that you do.
Thank you.
And Westchester Commons, the music series. Shout out to Mark Bowen. And talk about why that's so important to the organization.
Yeah, so I mean, just community and charity is huge for us. You know, Westchester was our first Sedona tap house 11 years ago.
Okay.
So obviously we have deep roots in that shopping center. We have our newest concept there. Our first Napa is there as well. So we definitely always want to help them out when they reach out to us. Hey, can you guys help us with this concert series? Of course. I mean, it's a great time. You get to listen to music.
Sit on the patio.
Exactly.
The patio is kind of like prime real estate.
Yes.
I mean, it is. Because everybody else is sitting out there in those lawn chairs that they got from the Five and Below store.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you know, but you guys have the food truck.
Exactly.
And that's, you know, and that's what you guys are doing there. Alrighty, we talked, so on the mic, Mike, the best part about the show is I get to talk to experts. So we talked before about how things make it to the menu.
Yeah.
And sometimes things don't stay.
Yes.
I kind of was like the guy that things are like on the menu, they sort of go away. I mean, like, man, why did you do me like that? Well, clearly, not enough people were like me.
Typically.
So
yeah.
talk about how something gets to the menu, and then sometimes things have to go.
So yeah, I mean, typically we will try something out on our specials board.
You told me to see.
Yeah.
I learned that the last time.
Exactly.
There you go.
So we run those typically about 2 to 3 weeks. And so we'll, you know, obviously test the recipe out. We have a little focus group try it. If that's good, we'll put it on the specials board. And then if it does well on the specials board, once it's time to do our seasonal menu change, we'll typically throw that on there. It is the case that sometimes an item will perform super well on the specials board, but once you put it on the menu,
You told me that.
yep, it's kind of crazy how it works. But I think once it's out of that direct view of being on that small special menu, people sometimes overlook it.
Is it okay? So we've come through the pandemic. You guys survived. Where are we now in the restaurant business on the back end or whatever this new normal is now?
Yeah, I think we're definitely on the up and up. We as a company were just at the NRA show in Chicago, which is one of the largest restaurant expos, in the country. And that was kind of the main feel from all the other restaurateurs there, is that we're on the end of it, the tail end. We're on the up and up. Obviously there's a lot of new technology that's in our market that is really exploding now because of COVID.
So on the mic is Mike Tyler's here at Napa Kitchen and Wine, as well as Sedona Tap House. We're coming to you from the Mike King Biz studio because what we do is we talk to the game changers. When Tyler, he walks in, is what
Mike King says.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. Every time I step up in the building, everybody.
Well, not me, but when you step in. So let me talk to you, man. So when okay, wait, let me turn the music down. I gotta get serious now. When you walk out with the jacket on, come on, man, what's that feel like? People are looking like, oh, look at him.
No, so I mean, it's a good feeling because it takes a lot of work to get these jackets.
Yeah.
So it definitely is a good feeling, especially when people are enjoying the food that we just made. And then we walk out there. We actually had a wine dinner last night at Napa. We do one every month. And it was great at the end of it when I get to walk out and people have all just enjoyed our courses.
Do you have to explain what people have? Because you guys, that with the chef jacket comes, I'm from Philly, so, they're not exactly the most cultured people, and we're more than just cheesesteaks and hoagies, regardless of what people say, but we do get down with some cheesesteaks and hoagies. You have to explain to people what some of that stuff is, because you guys put some, I don't know, like a bolognese sauce, and you guys put a drizzle in it, it looks really nice. And
yeah, so definitely, especially with those wine dinners, we have our executive chef, Todd. He goes out in between every course and kind of explains what it is. Just because, especially for Napa, those wine dinners, it's kind of like an extra test for new menu items. So we'll get really creative with those. And then if something does really well on that, then we'll move it to the specials and then eventually the menu. So yeah, we'll get really creative on those items, so they definitely do need some explanation.
What's the difference between, and we got the marketing guru behind the camera here, right? So, she's going to give us the guidance. If something goes wrong, she's shaking her head like, no, not me. So, what's the difference between the Napa customer and the Sedona customer?
So, I mean, I guess
they kind of look the same to me, because, I'm having a good time with both of them. But maybe is there a difference?
Well, I would say they're the same. It just depends on what you're feeling that day. Do you want, something a little bit lighter? Do you want some sushi and wine? Or is it, one of those days where you just need a beer, maybe a nice hearty Devil's Pass pasta, fill you up. It just kind of depends, on your mood. But I would say it's the same.
So you're coming through summer right now. When will you switch up the menu again?
So we're actually having our first meeting on our fall-winter menu next week. So hopefully, I would like to get it switched sometime in September is the goal.
And what's the process like first meeting to the point where it rolls out and we got the new menu?
So we definitely want to look back at the new items that we had on our previous fall-winter menu and see how those performed and whether we're going to put them back on this next one. We also look at seasonal produce, vegetables, whatever's going to be, doing really well. See if we have a recipe that coincides with that we can put on, and just kind of trends in the community.
All right, man. So you got the chef and jacket on. You cook a lot at home?
Not as much as I probably should.
Okay. What was the last thing you created at home? Okay. What was the last thing that you were just like they were like, yo, you killed it?
In the restaurant?
No, at home, man. We're talking at home.
Oh my gosh! Honestly, at home, all I really do is grill.
But you told me your dad is the grill master.
Well, I'm the grill master now. It's time for him to step aside on that one.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen? That's what we bring the young Thundercats in here, and they want us to, like my sons, think it's time for them. They do. You guys think it's time. We turn it over to you. So we can't do it all the time anymore because that was, we got some miles on us.
Fair enough.
So when did you know you got to be like, okay, Dad, you can step over? And did Dad give you the thumbs up, like, yeah, my boy's pretty good?
Oh, well, I knew when he was sitting by the pool drinking a cocktail and said, Tyler, you got it. I said, oh,
Do you know what
all right.
that means?
Means I got it.
You got it. That's like when the king says you got it because you had stood there. Were there ever any real lessons that he gave you, or you just watched him work the magic?
As far as cooking specifically, you know, I've gotten little tips and tricks from him. Really, he's done a lot with business advice, how to run a business, obviously. But no, just really, you know, people can explain how to grill, but unless you're in there, you're actually doing it, you're not going to figure it out. You can explain how to grill, but hands-on is just a different way of learning.
There you go. Alrighty, how can people find the information out about you and Sedona Tap House and Wine and Napa Kitchen?
Okay, so at our websites, obviously you Google us. We have all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Just Google us.
Good. Just Google them. That you know, that's when you get to a certain point in life when you're just like, I could tell you, wait a minute, man, just Google me.
Yeah.
See, you don't remember that there was a life pre-Google. We had to know how to get to somebody's house, and you had to pull out a map, and you know there was a yellow pages, and you had to, okay. We don't do that anymore.
No, sir.
Really quickly, see, I got you here. I know you got stuff to do. How do you guys go with, and shout out to my man Barry Moore over at the Better Business Bureau. Shout out to, I got the BBB. When you guys deal with complaints and reviews and stuff like that, because these days, everybody got something to say.
Yeah.
I mean, and his deal's like, you didn't know you didn't like it before you're halfway done it.
Yeah.
How do you engage customers? Because I know you guys are really good, but you're going to get the customers going to be like, I don't know about this and that.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously the first thing we want to do is just listen. We never want to, feel like we're not listening to what somebody has to say. We definitely want to hear what people have to say, all their feedback, and, graciously we'll listen to them. And then obviously we want to just explore what went wrong, and we want to see what we can do for them to leave our restaurant happy.
Okay. Alrighty, you guys do parties?
Yes.
Okay. How do they engage you for parties?
So, you can book a private room in one of our restaurants. You can book the wine lounge we have at Napa Kitchen and Wine. We also have a food truck that we can cater weddings.
That's the one that's
parties.
out there for
I actually just catered a wedding this past Saturday.
Okay.
So
how about, so let's catering. Let's talk catering very quick. See, when you come here, we get all the business stuff out the way. We ain't playing here. Okay, so the catering, what do people, what size is it? A certain size you guys work with? Or
So the truck itself is a decent size, so we do need, a decent space. But no, I mean, so our standard package comes to feed up to 100 people.
Okay.
And we can go, we can bring servers, bartenders, do courses. The whole thing. Or we could just pull up, do some handheld, some burgers, tacos, whatever the event holds.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you do it. They're the best around. I truly enjoy when I go there. The atmosphere at like you said, the patios is a really cool concept. It's sort of the same everywhere you go. That is a concept. People out there chilling. There's a bar area. Folks are there sitting with their dog, just chilling. But like I'm saying, at the music series, that's straight up primetime real estate because you're able to see and hear the music. You're able to see the people out there. So. On the Mic with Mike, we do bring you the best and the brightest. We'd like to thank Tyler for coming in. Make sure you check out and support them. They're doing some amazing, they got some amazing food, but the champions in the community. We'd like to thank Joe for setting this up. Joe, what's the name of the business again?
Wabash and Lake Consulting.
Wabash and Lake Consulting, part of the Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce, as I am. We'd like to thank you.
On the mic with Mike. On the mic with Mike. On the mic with Mike. I'm on the mic with Mike. He's like a guru.
No, he's a businessman with a great radio show.
And he supports the nonprofits.
So, in honor of you guys being in the Philadelphia area, and like I said, I am from Philly. You may not be able to tell, but, rather low-key than cultured. But this is what we brought for you.
Hey, yo, Richmond.
Oh, no.
It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit, but keep moving forward. This is the Italian Stallion. Say the one I leave Philly becomes the RVA. I always check out my man, Mike King Biz on ESPN, 5-7 a.m. The champ of business talk radio. Ebb, the man.
You know, man, when your dad told you got this, you'll know. That's where I play the Rocky one, too, because he tells his son, you know, the Rocky speech.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. When
It is.
you know, dad gives you the keys to the kingdom. All right, we got to run on the mic of Mike. Make sure you take care of sponsors, advertisers. I always say the microphone ain't free. Plus, my grandkids need stuff. They really do. I got my wife is telling me I got to get some Jordan. I don't know what the heck it is, but we got to go on the mic of Mike. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for me.